Hello and welcome to EPG Pathshala. This is Professor Srinivas Reddy, former Professor of Public Administration, Kakti University. In today's presentation, we will try to know about Herbert Simon, who is an important administrative thinker. Perhaps he is the only administrative thinker among all those listed in your syllabi who has received Nobel Prize for his contributions to economic sciences. Herbert Simon's decision-making theory has won him Nobel Prize. Herbert Simon has published a book entitled Administrative Behavior, a Theory of Decision-Making in Administrative Organizations in the year 1947. This book has crystallized the ideas and thinking of Herbert Simon on decision making and its connections to administration. Simon makes a number of points. Firstly, he has followed what is known as behavioral approach to study of public administration. Let me just expatiate, detail a little as to what behavioralism is. Behavioralism is the third group of theories that have arisen in public administration. The first group of theories are known as classical theories. The second group of theories are known as human relations or neoclassical theories. And the third group of theories are known as behavioral theories. Of course, there is a fourth group of theories in public administration known as post-behavioral theories. Okay, now Simon is a part of behavioral approach, or he is a behavioral thinker. Let me just mention what behavioralism is. Behavioralism is a philosophy or a method or outlook that has come in the field of social sciences, which says that there is a unity of method between sciences and social sciences. Here, unity of method means one method. The method of science, natural sciences like botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, are applicable to social sciences too. This argument holds that all subjects, when they are studied scientifically, are sciences, no matter it is chemistry or public administration or management. Therefore, what behavioralists would argue is that anything studied scientifically is science. And the distinction between natural sciences and arts and social sciences is artificial. This is one thing they mentioned. Another important aspect of behavioralism, there is a concept called behavioral sciences. Subjects such as political science, anthropology, social anthropology, management, political science, psychology, these are considered to be behavioral sciences. Behavioral sciences are subjects that deal with behavior of people. And in administrative theory, while discussing or knowing about classical thinkers, we have realized that there is one limitation of classical thinkers, and that is they have given excessive importance to principles or structure or formal organization, but administration is basically a matter of people. Administrators are people, administered people are also people. Administration is a people exercise, and the behavior of people is important. And administrative theory hitherto behavioralism. Let me also add the point that along with Herbert Simon, there is a precursor of him, Chester Irving Barnard, who has written an equally famous book entitled Functions of the Executive in the year 1937. Simon and Barnard together are considered to be the seminal thinkers in the field of behavioral theories of administration. Behavioralism maybe Simon's behavioralism or Bernard's behavioralism, it is based on one assumption. Assumption is a kind of understanding. The assumption is that there is value-fact dichotomy. Di means two. Values are different from facts. Behavioralists are trying to develop administration, management, or public administration on the lines of sciences. Now, what is important in sciences is that science is fact-based. And therefore, in administration also, they are trying to develop theories of administration which are fact-based. Behavioralist thinkers assumed that values and facts are separate, and administrative theory should be fact-based, and values should be peeled from facts, are separated from facts. Of course, it is a moot question or arguable question, controversial question, whether values and facts can neatly be separated. That question will take up maybe in some other appropriate context. Coming back to Simon, Simon says, I may mention again that Simon's theory, or Simon is basically an administrative thinker who has given his contributions on the theory of decision making. This is the focal point of the lecture now. He says, decision making is the heart of administration. Like a human being's most important vital organ is the heart, which pumps blood incessantly into the human body. And without heart functioning properly, human body collapses. Heart attack, cardiac arrest, or reasons for death. Similarly, decision making is something like the function of a heart. Administration cannot simply function without decisions being made. So therefore, decision making is the heart of administration. This is first point made by Herbert Simon. And next important thing is, what is a decision? Decision is choosing among alternatives. Decision-making theory presupposes, assumes that a decision is an exercise of choosing among different alternatives. Now, it says that human possibilities are unlimited. You want to reach a place, there are number of ways in which you can reach. Can go by a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, train, aeroplane, whatnot. So you have to decide. This decision, of course, you will make based on the urgency, based on the resources, based on ever so many other considerations. So possibilities are many. So therefore, decision making is nothing but choosing among alternatives. Of course, most of us would know we have to decide means we have to choose between two alternatives or three alternatives. That's very commonsensical. What is special about Simon is that Simon has made an X-ray of what a decision is. He says decision making comprises of three stages. There are three activities actually we perform when we make a decision. These activities in sequence are: number one, the intelligence activity; number two, the design activity; number three, the choice activity. The intelligence activity is, intelligence is information gathering. I think there is a word which is familiar to some of you. There is intelligence department which is getting all kinds of data, all kinds of information about criminals, politicians, decision makers, traders, saints, philosophers, everybody. So that if there is anything that is going against the survival of the state or public peace or some such things, they would alert the appropriate authorities to take some action. So the intelligence activity here means information gathering. In information gathering or intelligence activity, what it really means is choosing the problem. Now you need a decision only when there is a problem. You have a disease, you have to decide to which doctor you should go or to which method of treatment you have to go. Is it allopathy, homeopathy, hydropathy? So many kinds of pathis are there, you can make a choice. So the starting point for decision making is existence of problem and correct understanding of the problem. Sometimes you may assume something to be a problem, actually there is no problem. Sometimes there is a wrong diagnosis, because of which you become panicky and run to doctors. Ultimately some doctor gives a innocent pill and you feel you are cured and he will empty your pockets. I'm not saying every doctor does this, but maybe such occasions are there. He is very smart. He will make you empty your pockets and share some money. Okay, identification of problem and proper perception of problem is important. This is the first stage. The second stage of decision making is design activity. Design activity is figuring out what are all the alternatives. Now you have a particular disease, just to illustrate the same point again. Now there are some diseases, ailments for which there is a good treatment in allopathy, and for some of them there is no treatment in allopathy. Maybe you have to choose some other. So what are the alternatives? Alternatives in terms of place where you have to get the service or the time. Alternatives in terms of cost. Each alternative, alternatives are nothing but solutions to the problem. There are 3 solutions, 4 solutions. Identifying those solutions and working out all the details. What is the cost, what is the benefit? In management you talk about cost benefit or benefit cost analysis. Okay, for this alternative you need to spend this much. And this is the benefit. For that alternative that much and that is the benefit. And you make a balance. And finally, you come to a decision. So you choose the best alternative. This is what is known as decision making, is choosing among alternatives, the third stage. Now let me just go back and remind you that there are 3 stages in decision making: intelligence activity, design activity and choice activity. For the decision making to be correct, you should correctly perceive the problem. You should identify all the possible alternatives. Sometimes it so happens you are in a strange place, new place, you do not know how to reach another place from there. You may spend a lot of money hiring a taxi. Actually that taxi fellow takes you round and brings you back. Journeying 20 kilometers, you are a stranger and therefore he brings you almost to the same place, just behind. Why this has happened? You are not aware of all the alternatives. There is a walkway. Right across there is a way. If you were to know, you would have gone there. You would not have spent so much of money. So correct perception of problem, knowing all the alternatives will result in something like a correct decision. So therefore the third stage is choosing the best possible alternative or reducing the alternatives to 1 by the process of elimination. You have 10 different alternatives, you work out the cost, benefit and all that. Oh, this is most costly, most time consuming. So this is to say that the last activity, its quality depends on the first 2 activities. Now Simon comes to the more important question. He says 100% rationality in decision making is an illusion. What Simon is saying is that you cannot have 100% rational decision all the time. If you have to make 100% rational decision, you have to wait endlessly. Therefore, he says, in decision making, 100% rationality is not possible, not feasible. What is possible is bounded rationality. Of course, some rationality. It's not that human being is a rational animal. Perhaps this is one big contrast between a man and an animal. Man goes by reason. That's the reason why man is able to command all the beasts, a lion, an elephant, a leopard. All of them are dancing to the tunes of human beings in circuses and elsewhere by training them, taming them and all that. No, how all this is coming is because of reasoning capacity. But in administration, maybe because of paucity of time, pressure of circumstances, something has to be decided urgently. There is never a chance to get so much of time. I think while discussing, I've been mentioning intelligence activity, design activity, identify all alternatives. Maybe for pressure of time, you can't do it. So therefore, Simon says there is something known as bounded rationality. He says a manager has to take satisfying decision. Satisfying decision is something which gives satisfactory given the constraints and all. It's not that you will take 100% rational decision. This is the concept of bounded rationality. Next important thing Simon says is he identifies two kinds of decisions. I think this is where this distinction is important to understand why Simon has been given a Nobel Prize. He says decisions are of two kinds: routine decisions and once in a while decisions. Routine decisions are those decisions which we make many times a day, many times all through. Say for example, when we are growing up, eating properly is not possible for a kid. He would be spilling food, he'll be forcing food into his nose or eyes and all that. It takes some time before the child gets to know how to push the food inside the mouth. As we grow, I think this becomes a routine thing. Some of us tend to eat even while talking. We are not concentrating on what we are eating. You put your hand in the plate and then pick up meal and then push inside your mouth. All this is going unconsciously, routinely. So the decisions we make are of two kinds. Some decisions are routinized, done regularly day in and day out. And some decisions are once in a while, rarely. So there are some major decisions which are very important, which have a lot of implications. Perhaps the best example is decision to settle to an alliance. There is a boy or girl, you have to have kind of, let me use it in quotes, match fixing. We use it in cricket for negative things, but you have to settle to some girl or boy. You choose. That is something which you don't do throughout your life. If one is doing, he is a deviant. So marriage is once in lifetime. That's why I think Indian marriages are celebrated more than any other kind of marriages. There are some parents who are spending all their lives earnings on a daughter's marriage or son's marriage. And if somebody tells them, why you are spending so much of money, they would tell that, sir, this doesn't come every time, once in a lifetime. So there are decisions of that kind. So there are routine decisions and non-routine decisions. Taylor names routine decisions as programmed decisions. He says in decision making, this is one aspect of it. We'll connect it after we discuss about something else. He says in any decision, there are two premises or two bases on which we take decisions. I think you, me, everyone, your parents, your friends, your siblings, everybody is making decisions. How are we deciding? Our decisions are not the same. Somebody decides to go to some arts course, somebody to science, somebody to medicine, somebody to engineering. Why we are making so many different decisions? Maybe all of you pass out from the same school, but you are going to different courses. Why you are choosing differently? This is because of two reasons. Simon says values and facts. One consideration in choosing to do something or not to do is the facts, situation, circumstances. Now these days, if you are very bright, you may get a seat in medicine. If you are not bright, you can buy a seat in medicine. Paying hefty sums, maybe 1 crore, 1.5 crores, 2 crores. There are big schools, medical schools charging so much of money, big fortunes. Suppose you can join a medical school if your father has tons of money and you can buy that seat. This is a fact. So there are some factual considerations. This is one side of the story. The second side is values. Facts are objective conditions or circumstances. Circumstances limit your ability to take decisions. A poor man cannot buy a seat in a private medical college. It's as simple as that. A rich man can buy. So facts are different for two different people. But this is not the only thing. We don't take decisions just based on facts. We also take decisions based on values. VALUES. Values means things to which we attach importance. Some people attach importance to friendship. They may bunk the classes, spend endlessly time with friends. Negative or positive reasons also. Maybe a friend's mother is sick and the fellow, he has to write his exam. He would lose 1 year, but yet, friend is such an important person. He spends time with his friend's mother to comfort her and help her and all that. Friendship is a value for him. There is another friend, equally close friend to the person whose mother is hospitalized, seriously, critically ill. The other fellow disappears, goes and writes the exam. Why one guy is going, another guy is staying? It's because of their values, sense of values. For somebody, friendship is a big value. For other person, friendship is not such a big value. We say that some of us are spiritual, some of us are materialistic. There are some people who want to make money endlessly. Some people think that money is there only for buying comforts. If you have something, I think that's enough. Don't have to go endlessly chasing for money. So it's a question of values. We generally say that Western society is more materialistic than Occidental society, societies like Indian society, where we don't at least admit, we never argue that I want money. Sometimes even if we want money, we don't openly say we want money. We do things which get us money. The point is, some cultures are such where certain particular values of the Indian society is known for values of friendship, family values. You see, people living in India spend a lot of time for family. The decisions are made by family. Just to give a contrast, an average American perhaps would be marrying according to one's own wish. And an average Indian marries based on family considerations. Mother has to accept, father has to accept. So many things happen. Because we are living in a family values are there. Some of the American presidents would advise their white Americans that learn from Indians. They have family values. So you value family, therefore you have to accept what the family says. You value money, therefore whatever gets money, you decide. Hope this is little clear. No, values are there. Our preferences are there. Values are nothing but our preferences, which we like, which we don't like. So therefore, one difference between values and facts is that values are subjective, whereas facts are objective. Subject means person. They vary from person to person. My value is scholarship. Whatever time I get, I may feel like reading books and books and books. Somebody's value is maybe culture and all that. He wants to go to discourses. Some saint is lecturing on something, or some guru is teaching something, he goes and sits there. Or he goes to a temple. So our values are diverse. So therefore, we take decisions on the basis of our values and the circumstances. Values are subjective, circumstances are objective. So these are the prime considerations in decision making. Now Simon connects the types of decisions with value-fact dichotomy and says that as far as routine decisions are concerned, they can be programmed. Routine decisions are decisions which are made all the time. And in routine decisions, there is less involvement of values. Routine decisions tend to be fact-based. I'll give a small example of an electric iron. The old type of iron boxes, which perhaps some of us used. Electric irons. The electric iron, if you plug in, it goes on getting hot. It used to go on getting hot. It will become that very hot that it will burn the clothes that you are ironing. But today's automatic irons are those iron boxes. They stop at a particular temperature. You can program it. You can put it on nylon, rayon, cotton, high heat, low heat. So automatically when that heat point is reached, it shuts off. So when a human being, I think what is important is that an electric automatic iron will not burn clothes because it will stop at that particular heat on which you put the regulator. But if the same thing were to be done by a man, you want to save some money and use old type of electric iron, it may so happen that you may for a moment forget switching it off. Errors will happen. Wrong decisions are made. Faulty decisions are made. In fact, Herbert Simon is one person who is responsible for so many computer applications, automation and all that. He was early forerunner to this. So he has said that these programmed decisions, routine decisions can be made more rational by using automatic devices and all that. Say for example, in a company, there is a working hour regulation, 9 o'clock the office starts. 9:10 the gate closes. Even if you come, put your card and you want to enter, you can't enter because it's automatically closed. So correct decisions can be made by using such mechanical devices. This is one contribution Herbert Simon has made. So just to come back, Herbert Simon is a prominent administrative thinker. He belongs to the category of behavioral thinkers. In addition to Herbert Simon, there is Chester I. Barnard, who has also talked about behavioralism. Behavioralism is the base on which Herbert Simon has developed a theory of decision making. And through this theory, he has made a distinction between values and facts. And he has made a distinction between programmed and non-programmed decisions. He has guided us how to make non-programmed decisions more rational. And he has also cautioned us that decision making cannot be 100% rational. And therefore, bounded rationality is the only thing. Bounded means limited. Please understand the word bounded rationalities. There is limited rationality. You cannot have unlimited 100% rationality. This is the basic idea Simon is mentioning. I think this has a lot of implications for training and all that. If you want to make people make decisions the way you want them to make, as a boss or company owner, you have to manipulate their values. Now, people have diverse values, and values are not static. The human values keep on changing because of our experiences. We have one particular approach, one understanding, say for example about a religion, about a person from particular religion. You have a negative opinion about some particular person belonging to some particular religion. But in your life you have some chance that that particular religious person is helping you out of the way, leaving everything aside and is coming to your rescue. You change your perception. So this is perceptions or values changing by experience. Values can also change by training, exposure. So therefore the implication here is that the organizations or the management or the administrator, the bosses can think of giving suitable training to change the values. Behavioral training is the training given to people, making them to understand the reasons why good things have to be done. What are the values for which they are there? I think the administrative organizations or government office, they are meant to pursue certain values. Public welfare, public good, these are the values. I think if the administrators are trained to imbibe these values, I think they will take decisions in the light of this, and their values, personal values are replaced by some desirable organizational values, and they may take decisions which are more towards the achievement of the organizational objectives than selfish or personal objectives. Here I finish the presentation on Herbert Simon. Let me just recap or rewind what we have discussed. Herbert A. Simon is a fascinating administrative thinker. He is a major behavioralist thinker. His contribution is to the theory of decision making, and his focus is on administrative behavior. And this administrative behavior concept is useful both to public organizations as well as business organizations. Simon not only said that 100% rationality is not possible, but he has shown us ways in which we can increase rationality. And for non-programmed decisions, he has shown the way out to reach rational decision making is to automate these decisions, program these decisions, so that the human interference is not there, human errors are overcome. And he also cautioned that for other decisions, you cannot have 100% rational decision because of the pressure of time and circumstance. Particularly in public administration, you have to do things quite fast. Maybe to control a riotous mob, you can think of all possibilities. Maybe a police officer orders for firing when he subjectively thinks that the mob is going out of control and they may resort to more deaths or more destruction of property and all that. They take some decision. And sometimes in a hurry, they are taking sometimes wrong decisions also. So in such circumstances, I think it's perhaps does not make sense to look for 100% rationality, because if you delay the decision, if you don't take a decision, situation may go further out of hand and the resultant loss will be much more than what you have done. So therefore, he is cautioning that, and he has helped people to understand, analyze, have an anatomy of what is decision making. He says there are 3 phases which are important. You should have correct intelligence about decisions. Correct information is important. And thanks to information technology, IT, today information is at fingertips. There are organizations which are having management information system. So instead of pressing a panic button and looking for data when problem is there, there are stored databases. You just browse that and you get data, and therefore intelligence gathering has become more simple and more easy, and you can have all kinds of information. I think in the last 20 years, amazing developments have happened in information technology. I think the decision making is progressing from less rational to more objective and more rational basis because of the ideas spinned by Herbert A. Simon. And Herbert A. Simon has a lasting place, a good, very solid place in the theories of administration. He has elevated administration from mere art to a science. He considers administration as a science because he believed that science and art are not separate, and administration is also a science like many other sciences, and we can use the same methods of science. And in fact, he has used the scientific concepts and all that in his expatiation of the decision making theory. With this, we conclude the presentation.